Stay a while and listen. Heroes from across the realm of Sanctuary return once more in this first ever mobile game from the Diablo franchise. Diablo Immortal is the most accessible game in the series. The creator built it for phones and released it as the only free-to-play game in the series. Yet, the reviews are rolling in and longtime fans are upset by the pay-to-win model adopted by the game's team. In this video, we'll look into the story and gameplay of the game and compare it to the Diablo games of the past. Why would Blizzard enter the oversaturated pay-to-win mobile game market? They are a well-established game company, having over 3 decades of experience. Blizzard has been porting games since 1991 and producing them since 1993. Diablo, released in January of 1997, was a smash hit and a founding force in the ARPG, or action role-playing game, genre. They have released other popular games, including the Warcraft, StarCraft, and Overwatch series. Other mobile games include the Warcraft spin-off card game, Hearthstone. After a 6-month closed beta in Australia and Canada, Diablo Immortal was released on mobile June 1st of this year. The PC beta started the next day, June 2nd. Diablo Immortal follows the classic isometric style, that is, a fixed angle view of a 3D space, familiar to the franchise. The graphics are like that of Diablo 3, many retextured or taken straight from the third installment itself. The visuals maintain their appeal to current audiences, but some criticism calls this a lazy choice by the development team. A familiar cast of enemies and allies color the world. Now, these creatures respawn in quick MMORPG cycles as opposed to the one-and-done kills of previous games. This makes moving through the world slower as you fight through crowds of enemies to and from quest locations. Waypoints and town portals make returning to settlements faster, but traveling still brings a sense of tedium as you carve through a patch of cultists for the 100th time. This game has loosened the franchise's oft-praised feature of a procedurally generated world. The first game was lauded with its ever-changing dungeons, enemies, and shrines in each new run. With it being a massively multiplayer game, the major hubs of the world and overland travels are all static. Dungeons and rifts are the only procedurally generated maps, in which players queue up to fight solo or with a party of up to 4. Fans of Diablo know the typical 4-chapter or act format of the mainline games. Diablo Immortal has a similar chapter format, allowing the player to explore new lands and follow story arcs centered around particular hubs in this world. The game takes place between Diablo 2, specifically the Lord of Destruction expansion, and Diablo 3. NPC storylines connecting the plots are explored further, touching on the lives of Deckard Cain, Adria the Witch, and the fallen Archangel Tyrael in this interim. The classes available are much the same as those in Diablo 3 and its DLC. There is the Barbarian, a brutish melee fighter built to keep on swinging, the Crusader, a holy fighter built for defense as they cut down their foes, the Demon Hunter, a crossbow-wielding combatant who uses traps in combat, the Necromancer, a mage who relies on corpses of foes and summon companions, the Monk, a high-mobility melee fighter with a retinue of crowd-controlling abilities, and the Wizard, a ranged magic user who commands the elements. Notably missing from the roster is the Witch Doctor, a base game class from Diablo 3. The developers plan to release more classes for future updates, so this class and others from the franchise's past, such as Assassins and Druids, may be available for play in the future. The variety in classes provides unique avenues for defeating the evils plaguing Sanctuary. Even within the same class, you could try out different builds, swapping skills, armor, and gems to fit different playstyles. With the story itself, there are no choices to change or different endings to explore. Most hardcore Diablo players find the grind to the leaderboards their reason for returning each season. In Immortal, much like Diablo 3, you can get endlessly randomized rifts of increasing difficulty to continue to challenge you and your characters even when you run out of story to entertain you. The atmospheric music and sound effects are familiar to the series, still using the familiar clink of treasure on the ground and armor being equipped. The dialogue is long and takes control of the scene as you listen to or skip through it. As they formatted this game for smaller screens, the inventory and main world map are not visible on the same page. Those who want to listen to the dialogue can't rearrange their inventory or change out skills while they wait for the drawn-out narration to conclude. Random lines of dialogue are also unvoiced, leading to obvious sections of silence between the voiced lines of the same conversation. While Diablo Immortal is free to play in itself, there are a variety of in-game purchases that enhance the gameplay. These range from an empowered game pass, or the collector's version, which enhances the rewards earned as you fight and explore the world, to eternal orbs, which are the premium currency of the game used to purchase other materials, cosmetics, battle pass level ups, and mundane currency, as well as a handful of other packs and bundles. With these purchases, characters can upgrade their gear faster, progressing through the games and rifts or procedurally generated dungeons quicker than those who do not shell out for these perks. This can strongly turn the leaderboards into a ranking system of who paid the most rather than rewarding equipment and skill optimization. Like many pay-to-win games, the early sections let you feel the power as you blast through enemies and learn the dynamics of the game. Starting around level 30, players have reported hitting their first paywall, where the usual story progression isn't enough to level up at the same rate. Some recommend going for the daily Battle Pass activities, as leveling up the Battle Pass provides a good amount of experience. There are many aspects to consider when evaluating Diablo Immortal as both a standalone game and part of the Diablo franchise. It fits within the world of Sanctuary and keeps the same atmosphere as the other games. Yet, it feels incomplete, from the random missing voice lines to the almost lifeless towns when compared to the vibrant NPC interactions of Diablo 3. As a free mobile game explaining some of the storylines between mainline games, it's still a must-play for fans of the series. As a competitive pay-to-win game, it's clear that the system leans heavily in favor of whales, or big in-game spenders, for the leaderboards, legendary drops, and late storyline progression. For all of the Battle Pass perks, it's calculated to cost $110,000, and that's just for one season. Who can afford that, especially in relation to the other paid installments? But some wish Blizzard would charge and treat the game as a normal installment, even claiming they'd pay $60 for the game as a complete package with no microtransactions. Would you?